lights, cameras in my face. Hands on the stand, trying to plead her case. Said it was love, but it smelled like a scheme. Trading a husband for a teenage dream. Hands on trial, scandals burning hot. Teacher with a plan, but she got caught. Hands on trial, verdict in the air. Justice is coming, better say your prayer. Hands on trial. Whispers loud, jury's taking notes. Star witness, kids in the Sunday coats. Bang of a gavel, lies start to crawl. She wanted romance, he ended it all. Hands on trial, scandals burning hot. Teacher with a plan, but she got caught. Hands on trial, verdict in the air. Justice is coming, better say your prayer.
Pretend you never saw me.
What's up, everyone? I was actually just gonna do this because my mom is actually gonna be a little late, but we are about to start a trial that is gonna deal with a lot of different variables, things that are forbidden, lust, lies, unaliving. We're gonna deal with all of that. On top of that, we're gonna deal with things that are going right back to the 1990s, one of the very first trials that were ever streamed on live television and with cameras in the courtroom, and that is the Pamela Smart trial. So stay tuned. I'm just here to give the intro because I thought she was going to be late, but she can hop right back to it. I hope that was a good enough intro for you guys and keep you guys interested in what we're going to get into. Please come back on the screen, Mom.
Sorry, I got too much. I need to just sit down for a second. Yeah, you can keep talking for just one more second. I'll be right back.
That's fine. Yeah, this is one of the very first trials that the cameras were allowed into. When I talk about being things that are forbidden, they're still forbidden this day. We're gonna get into the real forbiddenness of lust, and then adultery, lies, unaliving. We're gonna get into all of it, and that's really what this trial is about. If you're like, why are you sitting outside right now? It's because my mower ran out of gas, and I was trying to get to this, so I just grabbed my laptop and sat back down on my mower. And then I was gonna say, if you want to know what I did today, I prostituted Gabby out for some Belgian waffles. I can get into a lot of things, so you probably better hurry up. your channel's gonna go south real quick.
Oh, well, did you seriously just okay? Did you just okay find then me?
Boo, boo, bring back AJ, boo. Hey, she pimped me out for some waffles, but I was okay with it.
No, who pimped out who here?
I wasn't there.
I pimped Carmen out for waffles. I mean, I'd do anything for some waffles.
I was making some quesadillas. I know it's Diaz, but I like Napoleon Dynamite, so it's Dillas.
So it's always quesadillas.
Tina, you fat lord, come get some dinner.
Eat your food, Tina. Eat your food.
Eat your food, Tina. Eat your food. Oh, what are we supposed to do while you're gone? I don't know, Napoleon. Why don't you get your stuff, put it in the microwave, make a damn quesadilla? I've watched that movie one too many times.
Way to eat all the flippin' chips, Kip. All right, and quesadillas. That's our rodeo show right there.
All right, let's just say hey. Hello, Labby. No one run away. What's up,
We're
dog
just
mom?
we're pimping people out over here. Don't run away. You get your cut.
If you like waffles, find me in Discord.
Well,
If you're trying to buy some panties, find me on Discord. I know somebody you can get it from.
Your mom's face.
if you want either one of those things, do not find me on Discord.
If you want to have a mess up, if you want to have some real messed up conversations, go ahead and join our Discord. We always keep it very fun over there. Keep it very PG-13.
Absolutely.
Absolutely keep it PG-13. And
Your mom's going to kill us now. Okay, bye.
I can only say the last part. And I don't think I want to say the last part.
Now say. Now say.
I
How do
don't
you
know
say
the
it?
first part. Carmen, do you know what that means?
Yeah, I don't know.
sure don't.
Liar.
You know. Ronnie knows what it means too. Tell us, Ronnie, what let's go means.
I'm not saying it. And
I mean, I'm not saying it only because I can't. I don't know how to say it.
Not bad.
Your profile picture is better than a freaking tombstone.
Yeah, what is that? A pickle?
Don't.
Is that soft or hard?
Yeah,
Is that a
don't
cucumber? Zucchini?
I'll just straight up ask the question.
The spelling is clearly wrong, but it comes from the heart. My daughter laughed really hard at that.
It's
Oh,
not
I know what
bad.
the I know what the
It's
P
not
word means, though. I know what the P word means.
So
That's a bad word.
yeah, that's what I thought too.
It's not bad.
It's one of those dream weavers that you keep in your bed.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I just got. Never mind.
I do want to. I think I want to hear a secret I can never unhear. I'm not sure. So, hello, Brandy. I'm sorry, this is already off the rails.
Now that we're friends on Discord, you can message me the secret.
Okay. Mom's here.
Mom's here.
Y'all. Hey.
Mama, wow.
Oh shit. Oh shoot.
Mom's gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
Hello,
Hi,
Nidwell.
Twinning.
I was not abusing my kids. Couldn't tell if that was a hostage video or not.
It did kind of look like it, didn't it, though?
Damn, I thought I did a good job.
Well, I mean, she
You know
can't
how
get
much-
far.
You
She
know
can't get
how-
far. She was an injured knee.
Listen, you know the talent that it takes to look up a trial in 5 seconds and be able to give that intro?
Oh, too bad you didn't just ask me. I could have just told you.
No, I already prostituted you out earlier today. I can't prostitute you again.
She would owe more than $1 just for today.
$1 swear jar for Carmen. Looks like I owe probably about $100 for today. Oh.
Oh, Brandon says, drink up, AJ, you dirty fillet of fish. I knew that last word was not good. Or you will be my angry, abrasive female servant. Something like that.
Fillet of fish. Fillet of fish. Oh my
Never gonna look at fish the same. Thank you, Brandon. Never looking at fish the same.
Somehow I'm gonna get blamed for that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I kind of like it. Thank you.
Cheers, Brandon.
Cheers.
Cheers, Carmen.
Yeah.
Still with my This poor bottle of tea. It just never goes away.
Why is it so big?
It's not big. It's just a regular sized bottle of tea.
Oh, the way you
It says-
held it.
It says sweet tea, but that's a lie. They only had
It's
sweet
not
tea.
sweet.
So I drank the sweet tea and filled it with unsweet tea.
Oh, so she did the Pepsi and Coca-Cola thing that I do.
Did
Wait,
the trick.
this was you all day? See what I got to deal with?
Yeah, it actually was.
Oh,
He
well,
had to deal with me and Carmen, so
welcome to streaming, Flash fan.
yeah.
YouTube wouldn't allow the more direct version. It's because
I mean, I don't know. Filet-O-Fish
Got
is, pretty mint. I'm good with that.
You got it close enough.
I'm kind of wondering if one is going to limit my monetization for my having the M word on my thumbnail, and two, having a firearm in my intro.
Ah,
It's quick.
I
That's
like
what
it.
they
though.
all say.
I like. I liked your intro though.
Thank you.
I actually thought it was really good.
I mean, it's not hot mannequins, but I did take a couple pictures out of it because if you guys aren't familiar with Pam Smart, she wasn't very smart. Carmen, take yourself away. So, but she took a couple of risque photos for the day. She's in I don't know. It's like a strapless bra and panties, whatever. I had that in the intro. There was 2 pictures that I had in there, but they kind of seemed out of place. So I just put her face back in there. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, you're good. Whatever.
Well,
So
she was pretty young, wasn't she?
she was.
22?
So she was 20. It says 23 on the court TV thing. So she's accused of orchestrating her 24-year-old husband unaliving. Gregory Smart was unalived on May 1st, 1990 in the couple's dairy. This is a New Hampshire home. Over the following months, Pam, a local high school employee, sat down for multiple interviews, portraying herself as a devastated young wife searching for her husband's unaliver. It's later revealed Pam had plotted Gregg's unaliving with 4 of her students, including 15-year-old Billy Flynn, whom she was having an affair. Gross.
See? I didn't. What I said on my intro was correct. Forbidden love. You can't have affairs with your students.
The dairy.
No.
So with this,
Voice to text.
Oh,
Voice to text.
dairy, not dairy,
I meant
not
to say-
dairy.
Yeah,
Dairy.
dairy.
Dairy, not dairy, like Dairy Queen.
Yeah, not
oh
dairy.
no,
Not like dairy.
it's Dairy Queen.
Dairy.
It's dairy.
Dairy. New Hampshire.
Yeah, my dad lived there actually.
Well, I will
For a
not
time.
probably
Dairy
pronounce it.
Queen.
Yep, he lived right with the queen.
I will probably not pronounce it correctly. So ever. So we'll just
Well,
go
I
with
mean,
New Hampshire
for now-
or New
from
New
now on, I'm gonna only call it Dairy Queen, New Hampshire. So
Uh-oh.
Anyways, this started in 1990. As my mom had said, that there was several students that were coerced into doing this or coaxed. I don't know how to say that word. It's kind of like burglarly. I don't know how to say it, but you guys know what I mean. This is just from CNN. Just reading it. 22, she was a high school media director when she began having an affair with 15-year-old Billy Flynn. In her trial, prosecutors said that she coerced Flynn into carrying out a unaliving. Not going to read the rest of that because that would give everything else away if you guys have not watched the trial. But it says it's a mixture between sex, adultery, and a story of intimate relationship between an adult and a juvenile.
So, and I will say this, generally speaking, when teachers and students are caught together, if it's a male teacher caught with a female student, we are all like appalled. But if it's a female teacher caught with a male student, people seem to be a bit more accepting of that because they're like, oh, well, he would have been into it, like he would have wanted that. Maybe, but he was not old enough to understand if he wanted it or not at that point in time to make those decisions. It's still detrimental to a male student as it is a female student. And I can't speak from the male perspective, so obviously it maybe it is more detrimental to a female, but it's not good. Like, it's not like maybe they were high-fiving in the hallway. I don't know. But
even if they were, you are still not old enough to understand what is truly going on here, and somebody that may be being groomed and what have you. But the adult, no, you know exactly what you're doing. You know that's a no. Like
and she was definitely adult enough to know that was wrong. You give her that grace period because, you know, her brain's not completely developed because she was only 22 and still making dumb decisions. She knew that much was wrong. For sure. So
yeah. I mean, you could ask a freaking 5-year-old, do they know that it's that wrong? They'll tell you yes.
So,
well, I mean, around here they'd call her a hussy, but you know.
That's Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You had to give him I did. Oh, yeah. She knew what she was doing. I'm not defending her at all.
Oh, my goodness. I read that completely wrong.
I did, too. I was like,
whoo.
But
I was like, frontal, really?
Those kids they knew to an extent what they were doing, but didn't really have any idea of what the consequences of what they were doing would be, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what was it? High school? She taught at high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was a media director.
She wasn't a teacher. She was a media AV, whatever they did. I don't know. You had to skip a bit. But did I yell abuse your child on stream? I did not.
Yes, you did.
Am I yelling?
Play it back.
Am I
AJ,
yelling?
why are you yelling? Why are you so...
Oh my gosh, Mom, why are you sitting here just yelling at me all the time?
Jeez.
I don't know. I thought I was yelling at myself.
No, but she's about to yell at us, Carmen.
I'm not.
I don't care.
Well, different from when you were a kid, so...
I kind of care. I kind of care.
I don't. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm sitting on a lawnmower that's stuck in the middle of my driveway because I ran out of gas, and I had to grab my laptop real quick to run over here real quick and get this done so I could be prepared to do my intro for you.
So what you're saying is it ain't got no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas in it, and ain't going anywhere.
What's up, Sue?
What's
You're wondering if it happened now, would the boys get more lenient treatment? I would think maybe. I don't know.
I do agree with that. I do. I think now, since things have been so like publicized, not just with this trial, just with any trial, and everything's on social media nowadays, everything's on TV nowadays, I would say I agree with they would get more lenient of a sentencing or trial.
I think, well, and we've learned more about people's developing and things like that. So that might get them some leniency too.
Oh boy. Oh, we put in the koozie.
Oh, Brandon, you gonna have to give me a second. I gotta
waiting. Get the fake koozie already and put some work in. It's almost hump day.
Hump day?
I was
Ah.
conceived on hump day. I'm just kidding. I have absolutely no idea.
You
if
know
I was
what,
or not.
Sue?
I don't
I'm
want to know.
so one of these days, Sue, you're gonna just find me floating in your pool.
You know what, Sue? You're lucky because it has been lows in the 40s here in the
Ew.
mornings. Like
That's why I
ridiculous.
don't
It
live
is
there.
too cold to get. It's like cooled the pool water off so much. And I told my husband, like, I don't want to mess with the solar cover right now. We haven't needed it all
seriously
summer.
bad?
Yeah. So I'm like, just shut it down. Shut it down.
See, this is why I moved. No. Well, thank you.
Martha's Vineyard. That's how we say that.
There was a teacher at your school, at my school I went to, that got caught and went to jail for attempting. It's gross.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's gross.
I don't, Mom, I don't know if you want to, the one that had the unaliving.
Do what?
I don't know if you want. The one that had the unaliving.
What
I don't know if
one?
you want to. Shit.
What do you?
I didn't know you had more than one at your school with the teacher and the student.
Oh, well, that was not while they were in school. So when we had a teacher, like when I was in high school with my husband, but we went to the same high school. A teacher then and a student that I don't know if she was a year older than me or if she was a year older than my husband, which would be 3 years older than me. So after she graduated,
She was right in between. Her birthday was 2. I'll say that 2.
so anyway, after she graduated, they got married and had a kid. And then they ended up getting divorced, and he could not, I think the son was in Carmen's grade, but the dad couldn't take it. And I think she had been to the hospital because he beat the crap out of her. She was tiny and he was huge. I think he beat the crap out of her. She left the hospital. He got to her, on the street somehow. She was in her car, and he started firing at her. Oh, and she was still trying to like drive away, but he unalived her and then unalived himself.
So I'll give more details on that because I've actually seen that particular crime scene, those crime scene photos.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be privy to that.
But so he beat the crap out of her. The hospital was like, "Hey, do you need help or whatever?" But they can't force you to do or say anything. She finally had gotten to they finally brought in a nurse that she was comfortable with. I don't know if they had any sort of like personal relationship, like a friendship, knew each other. I don't know. And she finally admitted that she was scared of him, but she was released from the hospital before law enforcement could get there. And so they went back to where our hometown is, and he took, like those pokers with the fire pits that you kind of like stow the fire with or whatever. Beat the crap out of her with that, and then it went into the street, and then shot her multiple times, and then went back, picked that up again, and hit her over the head with it several times. And
I didn't ever hear any of that,
unalived themselves.
which was probably just.
Yeah, that's the not for public access report, but that happened long enough ago that I can give that information.
Well, on a happier note, Sue, thank you for joining the jury pool. I appreciate it very,
It's kind
very
of
much.
funny, huh? It's kind of funny, right? She joined
The jury pool. Whoops.
the jury pool in the pool. She's just
No.
mocking us now. She's mocking me.
Mom, I will tell you, I am $3 in on my swear jar. I'll get back to you on that.
$3? That's pretty cheap.
Oh,
It's
we're gonna keep going.
weird. It's not that salty. Really surprising to lick. Gross.
It's all right. I mean,
That
that's
was
what
tea.
she said.
That was to you.
Yeah, I figured. Because I did say, no, I like the pickle. Or if that's what it is, who knows? At this
I think that's to
who
you.
knows with Lesko? Who knows with
I don't
Lesko?
know.
You don't know what that actually is.
All I'm saying is let's go like that. It's pretty girthy. Seems to be a good size.
I mean, it seems kind of tiny on my phone, though.
See, I got you. I got you up on here on my laptop, so you look pretty good there.
Wow.
Sorry, that just kind of, I don't really think before I say anything.
Who remembers a hairstyle for men when they said it was business in the front and party in the back? Those are back.
Oh,
They are
yeah, they're coming back.
100%.
They
They are
are
back.
back. And if you want to see some
Mullet.
really, really good
They are-
ones, watch a baseball game. Because
They are
Oh,
back with a
seriously, baseball players? They got some serious mullets.
oh my gosh, and they're gorgeous. Like I'm like, I want your hair. Why? How come your hair is so pretty? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like, I've never seen a more beautiful mullet. Like,
Well, you want to know why? Because they're a ball player and they got, the big bucks and they go and have someone basically manscape for them,
I
hey,
guess.
listen,
They
my
got everything
uncle has a
trimmed
mullet.
up.
My uncle's mullet's pretty good, and he's not a baseball player.
What's up, Frank? My brother
What's up,
has had
Frankie?
a mullet
Funky.
for, well, I'm 52, so at least
You're
that long.
52.
At least that long. So, and he rocks it, man. It's
Carmen,
hilarious.
come
Yep, mullets are back. And it's better, sorry, if you're young and listening to this, it is better than the mushroom muffin top haircut, whatever was going on.
Oh, the bowl haircut.
Like with the perm up here that they
Oh,
had
yes.
just going on. I don't know what that was,
Yeah.
except bad. I ran out of time today. Like, dang it, I need to get my senior picture because that would have been the year that this trial took place. And I have my big permed hair in my senior picture.
Wait, what year was this? 90? Was it the 90s? Early
crime
90s?
Crime happened in 90, and then this trial took place in March of 91. So it just preceded Betty's trial by just a few months.
Yeah. I have a bunch of 90s pictures of me as a flower girl in a bunch of weddings with big crazy hair. It's pretty crazy.
I don't like Sue, I don't know what's going on with young guy's hair right now. It's weird.
Yeah. Who knows?
Wait, Dog Mom says it wasn't the mullet. That's the only haircut I've ever heard that about.
You talking about, wait a minute, Dog Mom, you talking about the rat tail? Is that something different? She said business in the front, party in the back, right? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
That's a mullet.
Nobody.
What other hair?
Well, hold on. You skipped Flashbang. 1960. No, Flashbang.
That's because
that was
Gabby
a
asked what
Flashbang.
year this trial took place.
Oh, I was about to say
Flashbang.
no. That was the Vietnam War.
Come on now.
He was older than AJ. Probably nobody.
Not even Jesus.
Probably you. Let's go.
Nope.
How
He's
old is
not.
Let's go?
Oh my gosh, that makes sense now. That's who Adam and Eve are. Lesko and my mom.
That's weird.
Wow, Brandon.
That's weird.
That's really weird. Gabby
No,
is
I'm
not
not Flash fan.
older than me.
I have
Your
no
friend tried to
filter.
grow a mullet and he got the most shit for it. That's because people were jealous.
No filter.
They were peanut butter and jelly, I tell you.
All right. Are you guys ready to watch opening statements?
I was born ready.
They're not very long. So I don't know if I can speed them up, and I don't know. I've got it boosted, but I have no idea.
You know what, AJ? You just do you, boo-boo.
Whatever, Brandon. Time flies because I went around the sun and came back and caught you.
Oh,
nice ceiling fan. You look like every other person that zooms into court, Carmen.
that was perfect. That was awesome.
I was plugging my vape in, and I was sitting there thinking about Lesko's statement.
What, about his pickle?
Yes.
No, because the mullet wasn't like this at all. It was short hair with a perm directly on the back of the head. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
I just remember the short hair, and then they would perm.
No, now I'm gonna have to go look. I'm gonna
at
have
the
to go look.
bottom. Like they would have curly hair at the bottom.
It was
but-
short hair with a perm directly on the back of the head.
But not up here. That would be weird.
Hold on.
Flashon, I remember when dirt was new. Flavy. Ready. Got my coffee, energy. I cannot talk. Energy drink mixed with red Code Mountain Dew. Dang, you're not ever going to sleep. All right, I'm pushing play.
Do it. I dare you.
Let me know how I need to adjust the sound if I do.
Double dog.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, that's really loud.
Nice to see you all.
Is that as loud for you guys as it is for me? Because that's about to take my eardrums off. Out. Something. What's up, Ash? How are you doing?
Hey.
So do I need to turn it down?
I'll probably turn it down just a little bit.
I mean, you could turn it down maybe like 2 notches.
Hold on. What was your first request, sir?
I didn't go get my fake koozie.
Oh, I said I would fill in for her. Give me a second. I gotta wait for DoorDash to get here. Patience, my friend. Patience.
Just, just get a paper bag. You'll be fine.
Some people brag that they can do DoorDash when I have Amish Dash. So whatever.
Yeah, it takes a while. The
Could
pizza's
you
definitely cold when it
imagine?
gets there.
That would be the best thing ever. They're just like, yeah, here's DoorDash. Yeah.
He says, no, you relax. I am relaxed. Thanks. Hey, I didn't volunteer. She volunteered as tribute. I did not.
I said
Volunteer
be
her.
patient. I don't care if you relax or not. I said be patient. Give me un momento, por favor.
All right. Tell me if this is better.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Diana Pelosi. You've been introduced before, and again, this is Paul Mantegona.
Sounds horrible.
On May 1st, 1990, Gregory Smart came home from a late business meeting. He turned on the lights, he opened his front door, he turned on his lights, and he called for his dog. But his dog didn't respond that night. Instead, the response came from a 16-year-old boy named William Flynn, who jumped out from behind the door and grabbed Gregg. A second boy named Patrick Randall helped pull Gregg into the condo and shut the door behind him and then turned out the lights. Once the two had Gregg inside, they ordered him to his knees. Gregg pleaded with them not to hurt them, and he asked them what they wanted. But they said, shut up, shut up. After they had him on his knees, Patrick Randall held Gregg by the hair with a knife in front of his throat. Bill Flynn stood off to his side with a gun in his jacket, and they robbed him. But ladies and gentlemen, robbery was not the motive that night. Murder was. After they robbed him, Bill Flynn tapped his jacket pocket and looked at Patrick Randall. And Patrick Randall nodded yes. Bill Flynn took a .38 caliber revolver from his inside jacket pocket, pulled the hammer back, pointed it at his kneeling victim, and fired one fatal shot into the head of Gregory Smart. Gregory Smart, the man that was killed that night, was the defendant's husband. William Flynn, the 16-year-old boy who pulled the trigger, was the defendant's lover. Ladies and gentlemen, it was that woman who initiated, orchestrated, and directed William Flynn to kill her husband. Now, how did it happen that the defendant convinced William Flynn to kill Gregory Smart on May 1st? Well, this case really begins back in the fall of 1989. The defendant lived in Dacier with her husband. He was 24 years old. His name was Gregg Smart. He was an insurance salesman for Metropolitan Life Insurance. They had been married just since the prior May. Gregg worked at Metropolitan. He followed in the footsteps of his dad. The defendant was the media director at the School Administrative Unit, or SAU 21. Her office building was located across the parking lot from Winnicott High School. William Flynn was a sophomore at Winnicott High. When he met the defendant, he was 15 years old. She was 22. In the fall of every year, Winnicott High offers a 3-day drug prevention self-awareness program called Project Self-Esteem. Bill participated as a freshman, and then as a sophomore, they asked him to come back and be a student facilitator. The defendant volunteered to be a lead adult facilitator, and their relationship began innocently enough. The defendant showed him pictures of her with Eddie Van Halen, who's the lead guitarist in a rock group named Van Halen, and that was Bill's favorite group. She drove a car that bore the license plate Halen, and even her dog was named Haley. Now, Bill was immediately attracted to this 23-year-old woman who seemed to have such similar interests as his. And so he started visiting her at her office, sometimes alone, sometimes he'd go with other students. A lot of times when he went, another student named Cecilia Pierce, a 15-year-old girl, would also be there. Cecilia also met the defendant as a student intern, as a student facilitator, and after that she became the defendant's student intern at the media center. She went over 2 periods each day and worked with the defendant, and they became very, very close friends. At some point in the late fall, early winter, the defendant decided she wanted to enter an orange juice video commercial contest. And she asked Bill and Cecilia and a couple other friends to help her. And so every day, Bill and Cecilia began to work on this video with the defendant, sometimes during school periods, sometimes after school, and on the weekends. And that went along. Sometime in February, the defendant revealed her attraction to Bill. She said to him, "Do you ever think of me when I'm not around? Because I think of you all the time." And she began immediately to characterize her relationship with Gregory Smart as a lousy one. They didn't get along, he didn't treat her well, and she even went so far to show Bill bruises that supposedly Gregg had caused her. She said she didn't know what to do about Gregg. At first, Bill couldn't believe it. He didn't believe she was serious. He didn't know what to think. He was confused and a little thrilled that this woman that he had come to admire and like so much and working with her would actually be interested in him. But in the next day, she reiterated it, and Bill began to take it seriously. But it seemed so simple to Bill. Why didn't she just get a divorce? Things were so bad, if Gregg treated her poorly, if she didn't love him, why didn't she just divorce him? But the defendant responded that Gregg would never leave her alone. She'd lose her dog, she'd lose her condo, she'd lose all furniture. From there, Bill's entanglement with the defendant quickly progressed, both emotionally and physically. Not only will you hear about this involvement directly from Bill, but close friends and associates will tell you about seeing them together. And Cecilia Pierce will tell you about them being together at the dairy condominium when Gregg was away. But in addition, you'll hear about love letters she sent to him. And you'll even have an opportunity to hold one of those letters and read it. One that escaped Bill's attempts to destroy all his links to his lover prior to his arrest. But most of all, if you listen to the defendant's own tape on the own voice on the tape, expressing one of her greatest fears, that the police might find one of those guns. She says she acknowledges the affair, and she says if she has to, she'll admit the affair, but not her involvement in the homicide. And you'll learn that as Bill's attachment to the defendant grew and grew, she convinced him to murder her husband. At first she said that he had to find someone to do it for her. And he repeatedly told her that he didn't know anybody who could do such a thing. She said, well, then you have to do it yourself. One weekend when Gregg was away, the defendant had Bill stay over. And on the way home, as she was returning him to his mother's house in Seabrook, she said to him that they could no longer see each other anymore, that Gregg was getting suspicious of her work life. That was the first time the defendant had sexual intercourse with Bill. He was a virgin, a boy, way over his head in his relationship. On the way home, she was unequivocal. She said that the only solution was to kill Gregg Smart. And on that ride, Bill began to cry too, because he knew that he would no longer be able to have her in his life if he didn't kill her husband. And if there had been any question in his mind before, he knew she was serious about this ultimatum. After that, the defendant began to plan with Bill in earnest. If he said, we can't do this, it's not going to work, I don't have a gun, I don't have a car, she'd get angry. She said, ask your friends for help. So he turned to his two closest friends, Vance Ladden and Patrick Randall. At first they said he was nuts, crazy. You never get away with it, you get caught. They kept talking about it and talking about it, so they finally understood that he was serious. And Bill told the defendant, nobody's going to do this for nothing. So she said, well, they could have anything in the condo, they could take anything, a VCR, a stereo. And when Bill promised his friends $1,000 for their assistance, she said, all right, she'd pay, but not $1,000, she'd only pay $500. And as he talked it over with his friends, the defendant talked it over with Cecilia Pierce on a daily basis. He's her confidant. Well, this was the defendant's plan. She told Bill to bring black clothes to change into behind the shopping closet that was adjacent to her condominium, so that they wouldn't be seen as they went from the shopping plaza across the field to her unit. She told Bill to park in the front of the plaza, not the back, because the police patrolled every hour. She told Bill she would leave the bulkhead open in the back door so that he could enter freely. She told Bill to go inside and ransack it so it looked like a burglary had taken place. She told Bill to wear gloves so that they wouldn't leave fingerprints in the condo. She told Bill to put Haley in the basement so that he could get the bark. She told Bill not to turn the lights on because it would scare Gregg Smart away. She told Bill to hide in the closet at the bottom of the stairs so that when Gregg hung up his coat, as she knew he did every night, Bill could jump out of him. And ladies and gentlemen, she told Bill to murder her husband. Now, this wasn't a passing idea or thought. The defendant tried to put the plan into action on 2 prior occasions. She said to Bill once she had a meeting and that Gregg would be home late. She instructed him to find a gun in a car, and she said that was the night that he had to do it. But Bill didn't take her seriously enough, so he didn't do anything. Instead, when that night came, he called her, and he said he couldn't kill Gregg that night because he couldn't find a car. And Bill will tell you that the defendant flipped out and started yelling at him. She said that he wouldn't do it and they couldn't see each other anymore. And Bill began to cry. And when he hung up the phone, he believed that night that they were over. But the next day, the defendant said everything was okay because she had another meeting and he had another opportunity to kill her. Well, this next time, Bill got a little closer. He asked an older receiver friend named Raymond Fowler to help. Fowler, enticed by the stuff that he could take from the apartment and by the money, agreed to go along. But they had the same two old problems: no gun and no car. They searched to no avail for a gun, and finally the two decided that they would stab Gregg instead. And the defendant came through with the car. She promised she would leave the keys in her car while she was in her office building attending that meeting. So a few weeks before May 1st, William Fowler, Patrick Randall, Dan Slavin, Raymond Fowler, Dan Slavin, Patrick Randall, William Flynn, and Danny Blake went to the Newington Mall. They were driven there by a kid named Chris Goslin. They were going to buy concert tickets. And on the way back, Raymond Fowler and William Flynn were dropped off at Smart's car. And only Bill will tell you about this, but the other boys that were in the car will corroborate it. And as planned, the defendant left her keys in the car. And on the car stereo, she left a tape set to play a Van Halen song, the song that she had played for Bill the first time that they had had sex. Its name is Black and Blue. So with Fowler driving, they stopped to pick up a bag with black clothes and 2 pairs of sneakers. They stopped at Freedom Drugs to buy latex gloves, and then they headed to Gary. But Bill got cold feet. Didn't think he could go through with it, so he directed Fowler to take a long turn. And when they finally arrived at the condominium, Gregg was already home, so they couldn't carry out that plan. Bill called the defendant from the shopping front in their condo. And she said, hurry back, because she was hiding in her office and she was afraid she'd be seen. When the 2 boys returned to Winnicott, to her office building, she asked to see the gun. And when Raymond Fowler showed her the knife, she got upset. She said stabbing was too messy. And after they dropped Raymond Fowler off, she turned her anger and her disappointment to Bill. She said that he never intended to kill her husband, that he had intentionally gotten lost on the way, and that if he wasn't going to do it, then they couldn't see each other anymore. And Bill got upset. And he assured her that he would do it, that it was an error, and that he had gotten lost because he had never gone up to the condominium in the dark, even though she had shown him the way. He said, why would I have gone up there in the first place if I wasn't serious? And you'll hear from Cecilia and Bill that the defendant prior to this had driven them around the area and had actually provided Bill with written directions of how to get to the condo. But not only Bill will tell you about the disappointment that the defendant expressed, Cecilia Pierce will tell you that she was angry and annoyed at Bill's failure. And the defendant told both Cecilia and Bill that Bill had one last opportunity to kill Gregg Smart. Her last meeting was on May 1st, 1990. After the failed attempt, Bill knew that he had to do it. And it was understood that Patrick Randall and Dan Slattery would help him. Dan Slattery arranged to borrow his grandmother's car, and he also got his father's gun, a Charter Range 38 revolver. The defendant gave Bill money to buy bullets for that gun. And it was decided that Patrick and Bill would go to the condominium on the night of the murder. But otherwise, the plan was the same plan. It was her plan. On May 1st, the boys were all set to go. But there was just a little glitch. The defendant got a little closer to the action than she had planned. Nancy's grandmother couldn't bring the car to Seabrook, so they needed a ride to Havel to pick it up. So Bill called the defendant, the only adult, the only one who owned their car. That was the first opportunity on the drive to Havel that Patrick had to discuss the plan with the defendant. He said he wanted to go over it one more time. She said she would leave the back door and the bulkhead open, not to turn the light on and not to hurt her dog. She said in the car ride that she left some jewelry in a box upstairs.
Thanks, Zach. Carmen needs just a little milk.
I think I'll stick to this.
No.
You missed the one. You missed the one right above that. Oh, there you go.
Nope.
No, no one knows what less
yours-
what I do.
That's not. Did you read that?
I looked
No.
at. I read it as, "Damn, Zach! I thought there was an I in there. I was hooking up with your daughter. I thought we had something special. Let's go."
No. He was saying the guy you called dad was hooking up with you.
Yeah, never mind. Thought we had something special. Nah, he hasn't been here in 30 years. Every now and then I'll get some milk money.
Yeah, see, Sue, you're like probably the OG redneck. That's just our signal.
Where's she from?
Are you in South Carolina, Sue? What? Spare us the stories about tripping and falling. You don't know what happened. You weren't there. You are the OG.
I am the OG. I like that. It's coming in. I am the OG. You're right.
Is that why AJ deprives you of getting compensated? Brandon, he's depriving me of child support.
The only person that gets punished here is me.
South Carolina has no hill. It's more of a hillbilly. It's not Alabama, flash me.
You know what I'm having for dinner today, Papa Zach? Water. Because of you.
Yeah, it was right. Flash fan, you better run. I was going to ask you what your picture was. Picture of the fugitive that 5 sheriffs and a copper were chasing. Chopper, not a copper. Whatever. We're chasing across my property today. Nice.
He seems like a nice guy.
He looks nice and friendly. Like you should have just invited him in, asked him if he needed a place to cool down. You know, cold glass of water.
Probably less with his brother.
Wow. Free. He had to take his small size out.
Liver spot.
Wow.
You always ask where she's at, Zach. She's right there.
Well, I hope it was not.
It was. Legend.
He was embarrassed. Poor Will Buddy. Wow. There's a... Oh my gosh.
Hey, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. How are you? The train, it's off the tracks. It's derailed. It's wrecked. It's crashed. Rolled down the cliff.
It was railed
Yes.
and then got derailed. Railed again. Now we're back on the derail.
Also, we went from having church lady to having a church man court reporter. He better be as nice and friendly as church lady because I'm going to miss her.
I got a question. When y'all spiraled your hair, why didn't you do it all the way up? Why stop right on your ears?
I didn't do that, but
I wasn't born yet, so
I
I
don't
can only ask you.
know. I don't know. But these opening statements really, they aren't that long. They're just taking us forever to get through because they're for both statements. It's 47 minutes.
They could take. And she questioned how she should react when she came home and she found her husband
Really?
dead on the floor. Should she scream? Should she run door to door to the neighbors for help?
Rude.
And when she was asked by Pete if she would mind seeing a lot of blood, because he would rather stab Gregg than shoot him because it was quieter, she said no. She didn't want blood on her furniture. It was too messy. But Bill assured her that he'd shoot him, and at some point he showed her the gun. After they returned to Seabrook from Haverhill with JR is the nickname for Vance Laddie's car, the defendant left. The three boys went to Bill's house to get the duffel bag with the black clothes, the sneakers, and the latex gloves, and they picked up Raymond Fowler at Ralph Welch's house. From there, it went exactly as the defendant had planned. The boys arrived at the shopping plaza, and they waited till dark. Bill and Patrick changed behind the plaza. They entered the condo by the bulkhead door, and they went in and they ransacked it. And they waited and waited for Gregg Smart to come home. And when he did, they grabbed him, they pulled him inside, they got him on his knees, and while Patrick held him by the hair with a knife in front of him, Bill Flynn shot him once in the head. And then they fled, and Vance and Raymond picked him up behind the shopping mall, and they all returned to Seabrook.
Is he typing on a typewriter?
I'm sure he's typing on what Church Lady was typing on.
No, because it didn't make the clicks. That's
That
a
didn't make the
typewriter.
click either. Oh, I don't know.
Listen with your ancient ears. Listen to it. Listen to the clicks.
So Sticky, yes, this trial was in 91. This was the first trial that
Wow.
was aired back gavel to gavel live. And then we went to Betty, which was the second. And then we've just proceeded from there. But I'm hoping the audio gets better on this one.
Betty could never be first.
Wow.
Oh, poor Betty.
Always,
Let's play.
always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
The defendant's participation in the premeditated and deliberate murder of her husband, she is charged with the crime of accomplice to first-degree murder. We will prove that the defendant, with the purpose of facilitating and promoting the first-degree murder of her husband, Gregg Smart, she aided Bill in the planning and commission of the murder, and that William Flynn purposely caused the death of Gregg Smart by shooting him in the head. She's also charged with conspiracy to commit murder. We will prove that the defendant, with the purpose that the murder of her husband be committed, she agreed with William Flynn to cause the murder to be committed. And in furtherance of that conspiracy, at least one overt act was taken by one of the co-conspirators that were listed in the indictment that was read to me by the clerk of courts yesterday. Now, after the murder, you'll hear about the cover-up and the defendant's attempts to ensure that she wasn't found out. She collected $840,000 in insurance money that was available due to the death of her husband. As the police investigation progressed, she kept her co-conspirators, accomplices informed through Bill. There were no apparent suspects. And she continued her illicit affair with her juvenile lover, all as she had planned. But in June, almost a month and a half after the death of her husband, something happened that the defendant didn't plan for. Raymond Fowler began to talk. And Ralph Welch, a boy who lived with the Lattibys, heard, and he confronted his two very good friends, Vance Lattiby and Patrick Randall. And they told him what they had done on May 1st. Ralph, devastated by what he had heard, went to the Lattiby parents. And Mr. Laramie went and retrieved his 38 caliber revolver from his drawer of the bureau where his son had returned it. And he and his wife, despite the apparent involvement of their own son, brought the gun down to the Seabrook Police Department for a ballistics test. And the defendant's perfect murder began to unravel. Within 2 days, William Flynn, Vance Laramie, and Patrick Randall turned themselves in and were arrested by the police. Each of the boys were charged with first-degree murder after their arrest. In January of 1991, they decided to admit their involvement in the homicide, and they pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. All three have agreed to tell all that they know about the killing of Gregg Smart. And that's how we did it. In exchange, we allowed them to plead guilty to second-degree murder, and someday we will recommend that they receive a lesser sentence than they would have had they been convicted of first-degree murder, a greater offense. But these agreements are conditioned on them truthfully testifying. If they do not truthfully testify, then we have the right to charge them and try them for first-degree murder. The police, at this point, they had spoken to Cecilia Pierce once before, early on. They questioned her again. The defendant told Cecilia to lie about her involvement in the murder of her husband, and she told Cecilia to lie about her affair with William Flynn. She instructed Cecilia on how to beat a polygraph test, although she said, encouraged her not to take it. She said if her mother forced her to, she told her how she would beat it. And she manipulated and lied to her. She told her that she would get in trouble too because she knew about the murder plan before it took place. On June 14th, after twice denying any knowledge of the homicide, Cecilia Pierce would keep her secrets no longer. She told her mother first, and then she told the police about the defendant's involvement in the homicide of her husband, in her involvement in the planning and the cover-up. And during the trial, she'll tell you. For her actions with Cecilia Pierce, the defendant is charged with witness tampering. We will prove that the defendant, knowing that an official proceeding, an investigation into the death of her husband was pending, she purposely attempted to induce Cecilia Pierce to withhold information and provide false evidence to the police. And those are the three charges. Well, after Cecilia Pierce told the police all she knew, and after she cooperated and she wore a body wire to tape conversations between she and the defendant about the homicide, and after the defendant was arrested for first-degree murder, you'll hear that the press just went wild in this case. And you'll hear that Cecilia Pierce was deluged with requests for interviews and appearances from the media. None of her own doing. And she did 2 network programs. And eventually she entered into an agreement with a production company to tell them what she knew for money. And someday maybe they might make a movie of this someday. But all of that happened after Cecilia Pierce came forward and before she ever imagined or anyone else that this case would get the kind of attention it did on us. But you won't just have to be wrong with Cecilia Pierce to know the contents of those secret conversations. Secrets she kept with her friends and family. Because when Cecilia wore that body wire, there was a tape recorder that preserved them all. You'll hear the tapes. Listen carefully to them. Listen to the defendant's tone of voice. Listen to the sound of it. We'll play them completely for you. Now, as you can well imagine, surveillance tapes aren't recorded to the best of the.
So, Sue, it's Billy Flynn. He was the shooter. Patrick Randall, I think he goes by Pete. And Vince Lattime, Lattime. Those 3 were accomplices. And then there's one more accomplice named Raymond Fowler, but he looks older, and I'm not sure exactly what his affiliation is with this on that. I don't know how he was an accomplice because they keep talking about 3. And I know those Billy Flynn, Patrick Randall, and I believe Vince, whatever his last name is, they all testify. I don't know about that Raymond Fowler dude. But I think some of them are out, but I don't know. It looks like her jacket is following her. I don't know who Gregory Bryant is. Flash fan, I don't know. There's no Gregory Bryant listed on what I have. All right, I don't know. Where's she? That's how we wore them. You had the big shoulder pads, so you look like a V. Weird. Or a triangle, I guess. Not a V. Whatever. The shape. It's not natural.
But if you listen carefully, you will hear the defendant admit that nothing was going wrong with her claim until Vance and Patrick told Ralph Welch. You'll hear her admit her affair with William Flynn, that if she had to, she would admit the affair, but never her involvement in the homicide. You'll hear in her own voice how she tries to persuade Cecilia Pierce not to tell the truth to the police, because if she tells the truth, she can send Vance, Patrick, William Flynn, and the defendant slammer for the rest of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sure that when you hear the words of the defendant on that tape, on those tapes, when you hear the testimony of William Flynn, Patrick Randall, Vance Latterly, and Cecilia Pierce, and all of the other witnesses that will present to you at this trial, that you will come to the only possible verdicts in this case. At the close of the trial, Almendiano will stand before you, and he will ask that you return 3 verdicts of guilty.
Thank you, Your Honor. Warren, I'm going to be a little wild with it too. Let me start off by telling you that it should be obvious by now that we don't agree with much of what the prosecution has to offer with regard to their opening statement or the evidence they claim they're going to place before you. I'd like to give you a little overview of what we plan to have presented before you, how it's going to be presented, through what individuals it will be presented, and I'd like to characterize some of the evidence just like the prosecution has. I suppose the best way for me to explain this is that what will be coming before you from prosecution witnesses, right off that stand, take an oath, and who have made deals with the prosecution, will probably be one of the most vile concoctions ever assembled in one courtroom in the state of New Hampshire. Essentially, it will be one of the most toxic soups that you will have to engulf and drink to believe what the prosecution has. It's a case based on primarily innuendo and speculation, guesswork on the part of these so-called witnesses, making major logical leaps from one point to another. And I'll get into that in a moment. What really is happening here is that you have a series of witnesses that not only conspired and acted together to slaughter a young human being on May 1, 1990, but now, ladies and gentlemen, they have conspired and plotted to save their hides. But not only save their hides, because it gets even more pungent. Pamela's fate really rests with you folks in separating what has been called the wheat from the chaff. And what happens, and what has happened in history when we separate the wheat from the chaff, is that the husk and so forth is blown off the wheat. And that kernel of wheat falls to the ground because it's heavier than that disposable, that garbage that's around it. In fact, the garbage, the chaff, is cast into the wind. And it flies away from that which is the kernel. And in this particular case, the kernel will be the truth. And that kernel will be obtained not when the prosecution places these witnesses on that stand and asks them about direct testimony. But no, the kernel will be obtained during cross-examination. And why is that? The reason is that each and every one of the prosecution's star witnesses has something to gain or lose big time from that stand. The names Randall, Labby, Flynn, Pierce, just to name four, have something to gain or lose. Whether it be liberty, their freedom, whether it be an interest in a mega $1,000 film production. That's how low and soap opera this particular case presentation will do. That's the level that you're going to be dealing with when you deal with these stars, these poor young boys that the prosecution claims have been led around by the nose by PAM. These poor young boys that must not have a conscience or a mind of their own and only follow directions from somebody. Well, folks, you've heard their characterization of these poor young boys. Let me characterize them for you. In fact, in some cases, the defense and the prosecution fight over everything in the case. I'm going to tell you right now, I agree wholeheartedly with the prosecution's position that William Flynn is a cold-blooded murderer, and that his buddies, who are closer than brothers, Latimer and Randall, are just as cold. I'm going to tell you right now that when they are subjected to cross-examination, you're not going to see the whimpering puppies that have been characterized by the prosecution. But you're going to see thrill killers, young thrill killers. Pay particular attention to details. Folks, during voir dire, there was some discussion about two friends going to a social event and coming back and giving you different different observations and so forth of this particular social event. You all remember the context of jury selection. Well, folks, the details with regard to the planning and the execution of Gregg Smart will differ among the major players here. Randall, Latimer, Flynn, and Pierce, among others. And those details, quite frankly, are going to give rise to a reasonable doubt by the time the end of this case comes around. And I'll tell you why. If they were telling the truth about what they claimed, they would never, ever forget details like those which they're going to claim they forget when they hit that stand. The one inescapable conclusion you're going to come to is that they're hiding something from you and that they're conspiring yet again. And have they had the opportunity to put a story together? You bet they have, and that'll come out before you too. Now, during the course of this case, I suppose you all understand, the basic legal principles and all the concepts that we're dealing with. But we have to rely on this throughout the entire course of this case. And sometimes, people would sit here and wonder whether we can. Well, we can. We've been through the board here. We know each and every one of these folks. And we've all made a promise to us. We made a promise to the court. We made a promise to God that you're going to deliver a fair trial, that you're going to force the prosecution to put on a case beyond a reasonable doubt, that you're just not going to sit back and idly watch trained dogs jump through hoops because of their own little personal agenda on the stand. Young men committing a murder, yes. Defense will tell you that this isn't just any old day in the park for these kids. These people are sick. These people are obsessed. And these people aren't the innocent little manipulated boys. It's a cold-blooded killing, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, they've cut a deal with the prosecution. It's a first-degree murder. But of course, they've cut a deal with the prosecution. I mean, the very individual that placed a .38 caliber revolver 2 inches from Gregg Smart's head and unleashed a hollow point round into his skull gets a reduced charge and a reduced sentence. And you are not to sit there. You can't sit there and just say, well, gee, that's okay. Earlier when I was talking about the wheat from the chaff analogy, one of the sidelights here that seemed to be dwelled on for 10 minutes by the prosecution in the opening is this affair, so-called. You're going to hear all about it. Don't let it cloud you when you're focusing in on the real issue. Again, we know you're not going to allow that to happen. You've all been selected so that you won't let that cloud you. If that offends you in and of itself, well, we all know that none of you would be sitting where you are. I mean, that question was asked. It couldn't have been asked any more directly. But let me tell you something about this affair. It was an affair where Pam repeatedly attempted to break it off with an obsessed, infatuated 16-year-old. It is an affair that had nothing to do with Pam's involvement in the killing. Did it trigger Flynn to go on his little fantasy and his little thrill kill? You bet it did. Did he think everything would be, okay if he killed this woman's husband? You bet it did. Did you hear anything with regard to Pam talking to Latimer or Randall, making deals about $1,000 here, $500 here to go out and do a job? No. Isn't it funny? You think it's just going to be a coincidence that this contract and this deal is communicated by Bill Flynn? The guy who wants to lose about it. No, it's a killing that's fueled by sex, obsession, jealousy, mental illness. Did Pam engage in the planning of the killing of her own husband? Absolutely not. I suppose a lot of us will sit back and we'll think, well, gee, these are just kids, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. The wonderful thing about this trial is that you are going to be able to assess the sophistication, the deviousness, the cold-bloodedness of those individuals yourself. That's the wonderful thing. That, the prosecution just can't stand up and allege something. They've got to prove. Now, if you think that they're just little babies led around at the end of the case, well, so be it. It won't happen. It won't happen. The cock and bull stories continue throughout.
Objection.
Basis.
Argumentative. So
It's
far,
been argumentative, Mr. Sisty.
I'll attribute it to a specific witness, Your Honor. Thank you. You will hear the cock and bull stories coming from William Flynn throughout his testimony. Quite frankly, you should be repulsed. Tapes have been mentioned. Are there tapes? Were they surreptitiously taken? Were the words and conversations taken? Yes. Darn right they were. Was Cecilia Pierce wired? Yeah, she was wired. And was there a conversation? Were there conversations? Yes, there were. And folks, if that would be the end of the case for you, again, you wouldn't be sitting. You've all promised to keep an open mind. You've all promised to hear it all before you come to a conclusion. We want you to listen to the tape. Listen to everything and listen to it all in context. Don't take little bits and pieces and say, aha, I've got the kernel of truth. You got to take it all. Now, take it in context. Take it from whom it comes and why it's coming from that person. Take it, for instance, in the context of a woman that's been shut out of an investigation where the police won't even talk to her. Take it in the context, take these tapes in the context of a confused woman, an upset woman. Take it in the context of a person that doesn't know what's going on with the police investigation or what they're doing to solve her husband's murder. Take it in the context of the affair. But take it in context. That's the important thing. If you take it in an isolated sphere in and of itself, then you will come to the wrong conclusion. I can't be any more frank and honest with you there. You know, the prosecution discussed a little bit of the background with regard to Cecilia Pierce and this movie deal and so forth. What wasn't discussed with you, ladies and gentlemen, is that Cecilia Pierce herself was intimately involved with attempting to procure a firearm for William Flint. Cecilia Pierce has not only a monetary gain or lose situation, but in fact, she, along with the pack of Laramie, Flint, and Randall, and others, were attempting to kill Gregg Smart. Now, I can't get into each and every minute detail with you in an opening statement. We have to allow the witnesses to speak, obviously. We have to allow the process to take its course. But I'm going to have to ask you now that you got to be patient. This is not going to be a quick trial. It's not going to be the longest trial in the world. It's not going to be a quick trial. And what you can't do is jump to early conclusions. If you jump to early conclusions and you just lock in on it, you won't be giving us a fair trial. You've got to let the process play out for you. That's all we're asking you to do. Be patient. You promised Pam that you could give her a fair trial, and we believe you. We believe each and every one of you. And if you do give her a fair trial, if you in fact give her a fair trial, you will return with not guilty verdicts. You will return with those verdicts because the state has failed in their proof, and the reason that they have failed is the Constitution of the United States and the fact that Pam had nothing to do with the planning of the killing of her husband. So please pay particular attention to details, all the testimony, both the direct and the cross-examination. And we will be back at the end of this case. We will be asking for acquittals in these particular cases. Bye-bye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start testimony now. Before we do, we'll take a short recess. Before that recess, I want to discuss with you briefly your consideration of the evidence in this case. But keep in mind that in any trial, there are no state's witnesses or defense witnesses. Each witness is simply a witness. There are no property rights in witnesses. So the minute a witness takes this witness stand, that witness is not a state's witness or a defense witness. It's just a witness for your consideration, because evidence comes to you by direct examination and by cross-examination. As I said to you earlier, and will say to you again, you are free to believe everything each witness tells you, nothing of what each witness tells you, or as much of what each witness tells you as you choose to believe. And conversely, you may reject all or any portion of any witness's testimony. The fact they all take an oath to tell you the truth is not binding on you. And I do not suggest that any witness will take this witness stand and lie. I simply point that out to you to impress upon you the complete freedom you have in believing or disbelieving witnesses' testimony. In evaluating that testimony, you use the same test that we all use every day when someone is asking us to believe something that they're telling us. Some of the things you may consider are, was the witness candid with you? How did the witness appear on the witness stand? Was that witness worthy of belief? What was the demeanor of the witness on the witness stand? Did the witness have an interest in the outcome of this trial? Did the witness have any reason to lie to you or any reason to tell you the truth? Did what the witness said seem reasonable or probable to you? Did the witness have some motive to testify as he or she testified to you? Did the witness have any friendship with other witnesses or any animosity with other witnesses, or friendship or animosity with the defendant or the state? Was the testimony of the witness consistent with other testimony from other witnesses? Or was it inconsistent with that other testimony? Or was the testimony of the witness consistent or inconsistent with any prior testimony of that witness? That prior testimony would be statements made before the statement of the witness on this witness stand. If you find that any witness made any inconsistent statements prior to trial, you may use that inconsistent statement only in deciding whether to believe the witness's testimony on the stand.
Where's the cameraman going? Holy crap.
In short, you use your common sense. That's the best tool you have, and that's the one we use every day. If there are differences between witnesses' testimony, it is your duty as jurors to resolve that inconsistency, or that difference, I mean. You are to treat all the witnesses the same. No witness is entitled to any special degree of belief or disbelief because of who or what that witness is. For example, if a police officer testifies, the fact that that person is a police officer does not entitle that person to any greater or lesser degree of belief in your mind. The same with a physician, for example, if a physician testifies. So it doesn't matter who the witness is. The fact that that witness is who that witness is does not entitle that witness to any greater degree of belief or disbelief in your mind. You treat them all the same, and you evaluate their testimony using those tests that I just gave you and any other tests that you normally would use in your everyday life. This is not a pleasurable trial. No criminal trial is. If there is any pleasure at all to be taken in this trial, I will tell you it is in fact that both the defense and the state are represented by very highly trained and highly skilled lawyers who know how to try a case. And because of that, the evidence will come into this case, I think, rather smoothly. We'll take a short recess and we'll resume.
All right.
Stop. No, stop. Stop. Hang on a second. Let me readjust. Yeah. I have there's a lot of old people here, so we stood my Aquanet, yeah, and Finn. So I've got about 20 more minutes of testimony I want to watch because the next witness after this first witness is I think it's like an hour and a half. So we won't do that one tonight, but I want to be able to. I have a plan. So you know how good I am at sticking to the plan. And I said it day one of this one. So everything's going to be horrible probably because I have a plan. What? A tab? Oh my gosh. Sorry. I know. You already said and then. Sticky. I used to as a kid, I used to drink tab and I didn't care that it had a big paragraph long warning label of it may cause cancer. I was like, oh, won't for me. And it's not even good. It was just okay, but it was different. So I wanted to do it. Okay, so this guy, he is a neighbor of the Smart. Mr. I don't know if it's Dacier. Well, I was not old enough to do that. I wasn't even old enough to be in high school to do that. Oh yeah, no. But back then we didn't 80s, like not in the 80s, we didn't know that. Everything was good. What did I miss? I don't know. So I don't know how this witness is going to sound, so let me know if I need to readjust the volume, please.
I-E-R,
Mr. Dacier, where do you live?
Derry, New Hampshire.
And who do you live with?
My wife, Kimberly Dacier.
Daisy.
Are there any children living with you?
Yes, Jessica.
Now, Mr. Dacier, what do you do for a living?
I'm an attorney.
And who do you work for?
EMC Corporation,
And where's that?
Hopkinton, Mass.
I'd like to call your attention to May 1st, 1990. Do you recall that day?
Yes,
Can you tell us where you were living at that time?
4D Misty Morning Drive in Derry.
And can you tell me where 4D Misty Morning Drive is in relationship to 4E Misty Morning Drive?
It's right beside 4E.
And who were you living with at that time?
Kimberly,
Now, what was 4D Misty Morning Drive? A one-family residence, two-family residence?
it's a one-family condominium.
And how many floors did it have?
2,
And was it similar to the design of 4E Misty Morning Drive as far as you know?
as far as I know, yes.
Now, can you tell us what time you came home that evening?
Yes, I came home at 7:32.
And can you tell us what you did once you came home?
I went into the house and I had dinner.
And after you had dinner, can you tell us what happened after that?
Yes, I turned on a portable stereo that I had in the living room, and I read the paper.
Now, Mr. Dacier, it's more comfortable for you. I think you
And I just talk in a very, I can't even talk as monotone as this guy sounds like a robot. He knows everything he did. Probably knows to the second what time he did it. Ew. No. Nope. Yes, I came home at 7:32. It's weird. I bet he left the house every day at the same time, exact same time, and came home at the exact same time. That way his wife knew what time her boyfriend needed to leave. Just kidding. I don't know if she was good. She was a good girl.
can sit back, and the microphone will pick it up.
No,
I want you to lean forward, go right ahead.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Now, did you receive any phone calls that evening?
Yes, I did.
Did you call about what time that was?
About 20 minutes to 9,
And who was on the phone?
Kimberly had called me.
Now, was there anyone else home with you at this point?
No,
And after Kimberly called you, do you know where she was, by the way?
yes, she was in Derry at the Wendy's restaurant on Crystal Avenue.
And after speaking to her, Where were you at this time?
I was in the kitchen.
What happened after that?
Well, after I hung up with her, I then went back and kept reading the paper. And then I decided I was going to hook up our stereo system. And I walked around the house looking for some speaker wire and for an extension cord.
And where did that search take you?
I went upstairs into the master bedroom, and I was in the walk-in closet that's off the master bedroom.
Did you hear or notice anything at that time?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what you heard or noticed?
I heard a car door slam, and I was walking out of the walk-in closet, and I happened to walk over beside the bed, and I looked out the window, and I saw Gregg Smart walking away from his pickup truck.
And what caused you to look out the window at that time?
Well, when Kimberly had called me, she said that they were running late on their errand and that they would be home soon, and I had presumed that that was Kim coming home.
Now, how did you know that was Gregory Smart?
I had seen him on several occasions, and I recognized him.
Now, as you're looking out this window, are you looking at the front of your units or the back of your units?
I was looking out the front of the unit.
And was there anyone with Gregory Smart at that time?
No.
What did you then do?
I glanced out, I saw him, and then I went downstairs and started to either hook up the speakers, or I went down into the basement looking for some more speaker wire. I can't remember exactly.
About what time was it that you saw Gregory Smart?
Between 8:50 and 9:15 that evening.
Now, how is it that you recall the time?
Well, I happened to be listening to a particular program on the on our portable stereo, and after the incident, I was recounting in my mind the time, and I have pinpointed it to be about that.
Now, was there stereo playing in your house at this time?
Yes.
Now, was this the stereo separate from the stereo for which you were hooking up the speakers?
Yes.
So what kind of stereo was on?
I had a small portable Panasonic stereo.
Commonly referred to as a boombox? Something like that?
Something like that, yes.
Okay. And what was on the stereo?
I was
Sir, this lawyer would never use the term boombox. Or did I say this lawyer? This witness would never use that term. I think he probably did just get the stereo in the cabinet. Like I guess, yes, it could be called a boombox. Oh my gosh, yes. Yep, it was everywhere. This guy, he either journaled every day or he had no life. I mean, this is crazy. The Panasonic stereo, that's a pivotal piece of evidence. I agree. His hair doesn't move, by the way, Gabby. It's like a Lego piece.
listening to a classical radio program on WCRB out of Boston.
And after you went to get this additional speaker wire, what happened next?
Well, when I was looking for the wire, I heard a brief shuffle and a bang. And I thought, what is that? And then I presumed it was the a door being slammed.
You say it was presumed. What did it sound like to you?
It sounded like a door being slammed.
And this shuffle of feet, can you tell us where it was coming from?
Yes, it was the front of the condo adjacent to us.
You mean Smart's condo?
Yeah, 4E, yes.
And where were you in your condominium unit when you heard those sounds?
I was either in the living room or down in the basement. I don't remember exactly.
Now, how long after you saw Gregg in the window was it before you heard this shuffling sound and this loud bang that sounded like the door slammed?
It was a few minutes, not very long.
And after you heard the shuffling feet and the loud bang, What did you do?
I wondered what it was, and then I felt it was the front door being slammed, and I continued to look for speaker wire and an extension cord.
So you didn't do anything to investigate?
No.
Now, what happened next?
I then had some speaker wire, and I started to hook up the speakers to the stereo. And then I heard a similar noise.
When you say similar noise, what do you mean?
I heard shuffling on the floor, and I heard another bang.
And did this bang, how did it compare in sound to the first bang you heard?
It sounded exactly the same.
And when you heard this shuffling sound or a similar sound, could you describe it again for us?
Yes, it was very brief. It was several feet moving very quickly on a slate floor.
Why do you say a slate floor?
Well, in the front of our condo, and I believe in most of the condos, they have slate or tile floors.
And where were you in your apartment when you heard the second shuffling in sound?
I believe I was in the living room.
And when you heard this loud bang, was it loud enough to shake the walls? Was it muffled?
Well, in that instance, I did notice that the wall shook a little.
And when you heard that loud bang, that loud bang, what, if anything, did you do?
Nothing. I presumed again that it was the front door being slammed.
So you never went to any window to look out to check what was going on?
No.
And this second shuffle and loud bang was coming from next door as well?
Yes.
Now, after you heard the second sound, did you go back to hooking up your speaker?
Yes.
And did there come a time when Kimberly came home?
Yes.
What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
Did anything else unusual happen that evening?
Yes. Kimberly and I were upstairs in the master bedroom talking. We were sitting on the couch.
Excuse me, was Jessica home as well at this time?
Yes, she came home with Kimberly.
Oh.
Jessica was upstairs in her bed. She had just gone to bed. Kimberly and I were in the bedroom talking. And then we heard this banging. Oh, the doorbell rang. And then there was banging at the front door.
Besides hearing the banging at the front door, did you hear anything else?
Yes, I heard a woman yelling out for help.
And about what time was this?
Around 10 o'clock, 10:15.
Okay. And when you heard this woman crying out for help and banging on the front door, what did you do?
Well, Kimberly said, Paul, she needs help. Something's wrong. We ran down the stairs, and I saw that the storm door, which is the outer door to the front entranceway, was being pulled back and forth constantly, and somebody was banging on it.
Was it open or was it locked?
No, the storm door was locked.
When you say pulling it back and forth, you were just tugging on it?
Yes.
And was your door open? The second door inside, was that open and you were looking through it, or was your door shut as well?
No, the main door was shut.
So both doors were shut?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened next?
Well, I was afraid that somebody was trying to come through the door, so I was leaning up against the door to keep it shut. And Kimberly wanted to go out, and I said, no, call 911.
Now, did you know who was at your door?
Yes.
That person in the courtroom?
Yes.
Shuffling around?
Yes, it's Pamela Smart.
Indicated the defendant. Now, what happened after you told Kimberly to call 911?
She ran over to the phone in the kitchen and called 911. And I stayed at the door, leaning on the door, and Jessica was upstairs screaming because she was afraid.
Now, what was your relationship with the Smarts at this time?
They were neighbors.
Did you have any social contact or anything along those lines?
No.
Now, as Kimberly was on the phone and Jessica was screaming upstairs, what did the defendant do?
Well, she was still banging on our door and ringing the doorbell, and it happened for quite a while, in rapid succession. Then there was a pause, and then she came back and did the same thing.
Now, how long was she at your door for?
Oh, for about a minute or so. And then there was a pause, and then she came back and it started again.
How long did it continue for the second time?
Very briefly.
What happened next?
Well, after Kimberly got off the phone, she came back and kept insisting that I run outside, or that one of us run outside to find out what's going on. And I was not about to go outside or let Kimberly outside. And I said to her, no, we're going to wait for the police, go back and call 911 again.
What happened then?
I don't believe she did, and finally, with her being upset and with Jessica being upset, I decided that I might as well go outside and take the risk, so to speak, to find out what's going on and defend myself if something was wrong outside. So I reached into my briefcase to get something to protect myself with, and I pulled out my portable umbrella and opened the door and went running out the door.
Good luck.
Good luck is right.
So you went out the door with your umbrella, and what did you find?
Well, I ran over towards the 4E, Misty Morning Drive, and I saw there were several people outside. There was a patrolman walking up the stairs, and I also saw a squad car in the cul-de-sac. And that, I believe I turned around and I came back, and I was now standing at the top of the stairs at 4E.
Now, when you came out your door finally, was the defendant still on your porch?
No, she was not. She was at 4C, Misty Morning Drive.
And where would 4C be in relationship to your unit?
Well, if you're facing out our front door, it would be the condominium adjacent to us on my right.
And what was she doing at that time?
She was standing at the top of the stairs, or at the edge of the stairs, leaning on the railing. And I believe the neighbors were out. The neighbors in 4C had just come out the door.
Now, how long was it from the time you first heard the banging on your door until you finally went outside?
Oh, 2 or 3 minutes, not very long.
Now, what was Kimberly doing during this time?
She was, extremely distraught, and we were also trying to keep Jessica calm. So when I first went out the door, Kim stayed inside, and then when I came back to the top of the stairs, Kim stood on the top of the stairs with me.
Did you hear the defendant do or say anything else at this time?
Yes, somehow it came up to call Gregg's parents, and Pam was still at 4C, and she yelled out, and Kimberly yelled out, well, what's the number? And Pam yelled out Gregg's parents' telephone number.
Well, what caused Kimberly to yell out, what's the number?
Because I believe Pam yelled out, call Gregg's parents, contact Gregg's parents.
Now, when you came outside, you said a squad car was already there, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ever go in apartment 4E?
No.
Besides that, did you have any conversations with the defendant that night?
No.
How long did it take? Well, let me withdraw that. Prior to hearing the shuffling sounds and the loud bangs that you heard in apartment 4E, did you hear any other noises from when you first got home until that time inside apartment 4E?
No.
Now, how long did it take the police to arrive from when you first heard that banging?
Oh, it was about an hour and a half, hour and 25 minutes.
It was an hour and a half from the first time the defendant came to your door before the police arrived?
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Okay.
Ask it again.
Sure. The question was, from the first moment you heard the defendant pounding on your door and you said to your Kimberly to call 911, how long was it before the first police officer actually arrived?
Oh, not more than 10 minutes.
Just 1 moment. Sorry. No further questions, sir.
One second. You're an attorney, right?
Yes.
How do you like me up there? On the other side. Are you a little kinder to witnesses in the future?
Beg your pardon?
I wonder if I can talk to you a little bit about these noises, okay? First of all, can you tell us how good is the soundproofing between the different units on Misty Morning Drive?
I really have no way to gauge that.
Well, you mentioned you heard some shuffling along the tile floor.
Yes.
Okay, was that something you were able to hear on other occasions as people walked in the house along the tile floor?
There may have been, but not to the intensity that I heard it that night.
Do you recall telling one of the Derry police that that kind of pitter patter was something you'd heard in the past?
Yes, the pitter pattering was more when people would be walking up the stairs and there's carpeting on the condo. And you can, if you're near the wall, you can hear somebody walking, running up the stairs, a pattern.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you then hear the bang, the first bang is the car, first bang in the house, okay, which you presume is the door?
Objection.
No.
I think there's a mischaracterization of the witness's testimony.
Okay, let me start with that. I'm asking you a new question, I'm sorry. After the point where you hear, you've heard the first bang of the car looked out the window, then you hear what you call a bang and a shuffle that you presume is the door closed, okay? Yeah, at that point?
Well, I didn't hear a bang with the car door closing. I heard the car door close.
Okay, get to the point where you hear the first bang, okay? From there to the point where you hear the second bang in the house, do you hear any voices, any conversation?
No.
Is there anything else you can tell us about the nature of the sound you heard on those two bangs? Was there a difference in, say, the sharpness of the sound? There's, something just a rap as opposed to a sort of muffled sound? Is there anything you can tell us about that?
No.
Did you hear anyone inside the house scream or say anything?
No.
Can you give us an estimate of the time between the first bang that you think is the door closing, house door, and the second bang?
Several minutes.
Okay, what do you mean by that? 2, 3, or 5, 10? Or?
I can only say several minutes. I can't give you more than that.
Okay. When, after that point in time, an hour or so, whatever goes by, and then Gregg Smart's at your door. At that point in time, would it be fair to say she was screaming? What you heard was screams?
No.
Okay. I noticed on your direct examination, you used the word yelling.
Yes.
And have you thought over the difference between yelling and screaming in the last couple of days?
No.
Okay. The night this happened, you wrote out, right after it happened when it was fresh in your mind, you wrote out a statement.
Right.
Okay. And that, have you had an opportunity to look at that recently?
No.
Okay. Let me give you it. I've highlighted an area down the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, would you agree with me that back almost, 8, 10 months ago when this happened, when it was fresh in your mind, the word you used to describe Pam Smart's voice was screaming, not yelling?
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you, sir. I could just get that.
Correct.
One question, sir.
Mr. Answer, thank you.
All right. Well, that was exciting. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. that Gabby, remember yesterday you said something, was it yesterday? Sometime this week. Wait, what's today? Tuesday. I don't even know. Gabby, you said something about somebody having vanilla sex. That's this dude. He is, by that definition. His picture is right there. Good heavens. Whew. What? Who are you talking to, Flash Me? I mean, that's all I could think of. Thanks, dude. All day, every day, Sue. Haha, Flash fan around chat. Oh, well, your message came through. One of these days, you're going to say something bad about me. And how did I know? Because you said, no, she's finished Betty already. She's on Pam Smart. I'm not on Pam Smart, and I certainly was never on Betty. But thanks. That's how I knew. Oh, you were just talking about food? You name your food Pam and Betty. All right. Me? I am not. I am not. See you, Gabby. I won't be here tomorrow. Missionary man drives the minivan. Oh, Brandon. I will indulge you soon, but I can't. If I give into your drinking every night, I would probably die. See you, Ronnie. Yes, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I have dinner with my dad and my brother, as I do every other Wednesday. And so then I'll be back Thursday, and we will continue on with Pam Smart, and hopefully we'll get some not robot people from Dacier. Gabby told me I was saying it wrong. I don't know how to say it. It's not every night. I know, but I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up with you, Brandon. 2 years ago, I could have kept up with you, but I can't do that anymore. My body says no. The robot was crazy. Yes. Whoops. All right. So I'll be back Thursday at 6 p.m. Hopefully, I plan to not be so rushed. Thank Gabby and Carmen for Carmen volunteered to jump on stream so that they could get it going, because I didn't think I was going to be on time, because my husband had a meeting that lasted way longer than I thought it was going to, and that's the thing. So Carmen volunteered, and then that volunteered Gabby. So I will not be drunk on Thursday. I know you're not drinking. And I appreciate your help. So I plan to just be normal on Thursday. Who knows what that means? I don't. But anyway, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will pick up with, I think we have 3 officers for Thursday's testimony. And then I believe on Monday, we will start with one of the accomplices, Mr. Randall. So this trial I think is going to move pretty fast, and which is good because Betty moved very slowly. See, I'm not touching that one. Yes. Thursday Sticky's Comedy Hour. You guys, I could not even take a drink of my tea because you were making me laugh so much when this guy started testifying. I could not. I wanted to. I just wanted to sip, and I couldn't even do it because I was like, I'm gonna spit it out. Just leave it. It'll be fine. Oh, Brandon. Stop. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us and me because they abandoned me, but it's okay. No hard feelings. And Brandon, you're not dying because I told you you can't. So there. That's the end of it. Anyway, have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your tomorrow. And I will see you guys. What? No. No. Flashman? I will if you will, Flashman. And I know you won't, and I won't either. So it's okay. I'll see you guys all later.